morning, Robertson County and points beyond. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Welcome to it. Tuesday morning. Got some good rain last night that we needed. I love the fact that the good Lord held the rain off so we could get done with our soccer game from Greenbrier. It was so funny. We had senior night last night, and that's one of the hardest things as a teacher is trying to stay up to date on all the things. I reached out to the baseball coach the other day, and I said to him, be sure and let me know when senior night's coming up. And he was like, it was last night. And I was like, ah. So anyway, we're trying to stay up on this stuff. But I had one of my students that, and a young man who I've watched grow up that were part of that senior group last night. And I wanted to see them. And just, these kiddos that put so much into their sports and stuff. I just love it. And it just shows so much dedication and a work ethic and just all of that. So nonetheless, congratulations to all of our seniors. Yesterday we did the newscast for our WGHS that we call the little broadcast we do for Greenbrier. And Honor Summers, she's one of our anchors, and she's been just such a blessing. But she's a senior. And so I had her say, today is the first day of our next to the last week of school. So come on in, Shawn. But anyway, so it was a lot of fun. Come on in here and sit down. Miss Shawn Elmore is joining us this morning. Can you get that door for me? Just a couple, but I just wanted to say, congratulations to the seniors, and we're going to keep talking. But I also had to just kind of update y'all on this. I was at my friend's house. And this just cracks me up. Coopertown, sometimes y'all are a hot mess. I'm just telling you. It's so funny because Coopertown. Hi, Shawn. I'm gonna turn your microphone up. I just got to address this.
Good morning.
They had this thing that made the news. I want to say a few weeks ago, where they were going to have an ordinance to, penalize people who had farm animals, right? And so I just got so tickled because some of my friends, and I'm just not going to say who, y'all know who it is, they went to the meeting and they made these fans come and get our chickens. And it was just so funny. I'm so sorry. They ended up saying, we don't want to do that. And it's like, well, why'd y'all even start it? Why'd you even start it? Why'd you even suggest it? But anyway, they make the news all the time. Coopertown does.
Poor Coopertown.
I'm just saying. It's so funny. Love y'all, but that was funny. This cracked me up. Come and take it. Come and take my rooster. Anyway, I'm sorry. I thought you'd appreciate that. Did you hear that in the news?
I didn't.
Oh, funny. I'm going to get you to set that drink down because it's like right there in your face.
Oh, it is.
Shawn Elmore's in the house.
Oh.
So
behind buses this morning. Thank you, Robertson County bus drivers. Praise the Lord. You're picking up those kiddos.
I love it.
School zones, and you even leave the house extra early, but that's okay.
You're fine because it takes me a minute to say hi and good morning. So and I had to deal with the chickens. So I had to do that, but because I didn't want to forget because it's funny. Hi.
Good morning.
You look so cute.
Good morning. I'm sporting our new shirts.
I love them.
Thank you, Molly B Designs. Terry.
Okay, I want one.
Morris, Amy D.
How much are they? I'll get you some.
I will get you, girl. I'll get you one for free. You're one of our biggest supporters. I'll just pull it together.
I'll be glad to buy that. That's a cool looking shirt.
It is. We're going retro 80s.
I'm going to tell you something, folks.
This was our era with big hair.
If you will design your shirts that look cool, I'll wear them all the time. Because I love T-shirts. Now, as much as I can get away with it at school. I mean,
even with I put sweaters with them, a blazer with them, jeans, dress pants, and a blazer.
T-shirts. But and here's the key to getting a T-shirt that, number one, you want them to fit. This is, we did the show. We did that weight loss show years ago. You knew that, right? With Jillian Michaels and all that. Well, one of the biggest things I learned on that is whenever you're fighting your weight and stuff, wear clothes that fit you. Because they look so much better. And I was like getting like 2XL shirts because I'm a big girl. And I'm a medium. What? So I'm like, and it's like once I started wearing clothes that fit me, I looked so much thinner. Speaking of which, dear God, you have lost weight. You just look fabulous. I mean, you just look wonderful. You really do.
I don't see it, but I feel it.
Wow,
so
you look fabulous.
I would like to lose a bit more, but that's a battle that I'm dealing with the devil here.
I know, me too. I've got 10 I've been trying to lose for 5 years, but we didn't come to talk about that. But nonetheless, I love that T-shirt. And if you guys will design T-shirts when you're wanting us to promote your stuff that look cool, I just love that. That is really a good looking
Well,
shirt.
our goal is to pass them out to folks like you, and just for the support folks. We don't typically sell them there, and we only order so many. So
Gotcha.
we did this one for the spring, and then we'll have one maybe in the fall that's long sleeve or something.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Just only printed a few. So
I just love y'all and what you do.
Thank you.
And I am so thankful to have you in here. It's just I was texting her. I said, "You didn't forget, did you? I'm behind the bus." And I'm just, because you and I both, we live in just such busy worlds. You think, "Oh no, I forgot," and it just happens. It just happens.
Yeah, and you're up at 5. I've already had 3 calls this morning. I was up at 5 and did some emails, and your brain doesn't stop. And of course, having a little one at our home, and I'm going, come on, Daddy's got to take you to school this morning. So life is crazy. Mimi is 9. She's turned 9. Just turned 9.
Wow, what a blessing. I mean,
she is
your house. I'm just like,
to see her when she was little tiny and look at her today, and she's very sassy, and so we have
adorable.
Yes, she's very excited. She's gonna have a nephew. So Olivia's having a boy. Her and Kyle are having a boy. So she loves being an aunt. She's Aunt Tootie, actually.
Nice.
So Lenny is 20 now. The babies will be 21 months apart. So, or so. So she's, I think, 15 months. I can't keep up. She's a little bit over a year. So.
Oh my goodness, that is so fun! Yep. And the grandparent thing, just awesome.
Listen, I say grand life is grand.
It is.
Grandparent life is grand, and I could not love being a shug or sugar any more than I'm sugar. Yeah, it's just a sweet time. It's just a sweet time, and watching my family thrive. My daughters being aunts, my husband being a Papa Poo, and
Papa Poo.
It's Papa
Poo and Shug. Of course you are.
And she doesn't call him Papa; she calls him Pooh. So she goes Pooh, and you'll show her Pooh Bear, and she gets very confused. She's like, "No, that's Pooh Bear. That's Papa Pooh." So
that's so cute.
It's fun.
Yeah,
so
it is fun. But if you guys do not know Shawn Elmore, she is. She runs the Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center, and we always have to tag that Resource Center on there because I remember when you started tagging it that way, because it's so much more than the pregnancy center that it began. And it began, I remember when I first heard about it. I wish I could remember the young girl's name, but I was at, Penny Callis has been doing my hair forever. Up at the gallery.
Miss Penny, we love Miss Penny.
Yeah. And so I was in there, and there was one of the girls that used to work there, long dark hair, and I cannot remember her name, but she had talked about her pregnancy that she had, and just her story. And I don't want to unpack it because it's not my story to tell, but you probably, I know
who she is. So I won't call her name either, but
nonetheless, she came in and worked in the center, right?
Yeah.
And that's, it
inspired her to go back to nursing school and just follow her dreams. And
her story is just so beautiful. Yeah. So beautiful. And
sweet family.
Yes. And I would listen to her, and she was talking about this, and I thought, man, what a cool thing to be a part of and to work with. And so that was my first.
That was Open Doors infancy days.
Very
infancy.
Beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
We talk about being teenagers, but heck, we're going to.
Yeah.
We're working on that. Mother's Day's coming up, Father's Day's coming up. So those are big days for us. But you look at the importance of somebody in this, kids that don't play with babies anymore. Everything's on a computer. I give Mimi screen time, and then I said, go play with your babies. Go do something.
Yes.
So Lenny, our little grandbaby, she's loving on her baby. So we want to play babies and things like that. But you have a generation that has skipped that.
Yeah.
So parenting skills sometimes aren't always what they used to be, obviously, and so we're having to almost just rely on education to teach. And we see. I'll ask, didn't you learn that, in school or in the, I don't remember that or whatever. And then, but when you learn these skills, but then when it comes to actually putting them and engaging them, putting them into practice, the skill's not there because they didn't live it.
Yeah.
So many homes are, not, just engage with family orientation anymore. It's everybody's got their own thing, and kids don't sit around a dinner table. I mean, we had a family of 5 kids and 2 parents that had never sat at a table. Like other than in a restaurant, like, and throwing McDonald's at them. And when they came to our connecting company, the Supervised Visitation House, our original location, they sat around that table, and the little boy said, "We're sitting at a table." And, it was really sweet because they had experienced that in the foster home, and then they were experiencing it with their parents, and they were united. So
that's amazing. Just, those of us who have been blessed to grow up in families that just, normal, I don't know, but we just have this blessed life. I was telling my husband the other day, I said, I've something popped up on social media. I don't spend a lot of time on social media. People think I do because I'm always putting the show up, but I don't spend a ton of time on there. I go see what my kids are doing, and sometimes things will come in my face. And I saw this picture of somebody that I think I had met years ago. Don't really know them. And they're very blessed. And they had this picture that, I don't know why this just hit me this way, but beautiful family, mom and dad, and the two kids, just beautiful kids, stand out in front of this palatial, home. And then I think about so many kids that I work with that have no one to hold them accountable. Not that they don't love them, they just don't hold them accountable in some way. And we try to understand the difference between how kids were raised over here and how kids were raised over here. And a lot of the things that's just missing some of the times is these kids over here, they can get out there and scrap for all kinds of opportunities, but there's nobody with expectations of them.
And there's
so
the support
everything.
System.
Yes.
That's one. It's funny you said that, because I've got some notes that I made at 4:30 this morning because I haven't got to sit down and think.
Yeah.
But those are some things. And there's a young woman that I would love to bring her sometime to just speak on that, because she's done a video for us and things. But her story, and we'll hopefully get to that in a little bit. But I can skip. I'll just tell you. We have a young lady that she did our video. She's been in and out, of drug addiction and so much sadness in her life. And the thing that she, through therapy, just the thing that she says in our video is, I didn't have a mom.
Yeah.
My dad did the best he could, but I didn't have a mom. And when you hear that, you're like, wowzers, there's such a lot that where's the accountability? Where is the sustainability? Where's the structure? Encouragement, love. Yeah. First thing my little one got up this morning is, she sits up on the side of the bed and she wraps her arms around me, and I snuggle her and scratch her back.
Yeah.
And that's part of her waking up process. She's very sensory oriented. But there are kids who don't have anybody to say, "Hey, baby, get up out of the bed. Come on, we got to go to school."
Yeah.
The stories that we've talked about and that she's told me. And so I had another one that was on the same video, actually. And she said, my mom was, in addiction. And she said, I didn't have anybody that would help me, give me a bath and wash my hair or clean. I ran around half naked, kind of like a feral cat. That was her story. Yeah. And that was her words, not mine. But when she was saying that, she said, why didn't someone love me enough to give me a bath? And when she says that, and it's in her words on our video, I'm behind the camera and I'm weeping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come here, baby. So and now the structure of that is, she's graduated our program. Her family's been reunited, but she still comes because we're her connection and her support. Yeah. And it's so that a couple weeks ago, Miss Penny was mentoring her and loving her. Miss Penny's kind of like a grandmother to a lot of folks and a mama, just sweet.
And we mentioned Miss Penny who?
Miss Penny Orsman. She works with us. She's been with us a couple of years now, but I've known her for years and years. She's one of my dearest friends, and she's amazing. But her calling is to love people well. That's our motto. God has I need to give you the sticker, love well. But she sat down, and this little girl you could tell that she was struggling, the mental health, and she's getting our counseling services and things like that. I'll go into that in a minute. But one of the things that she said is, I need you to get up and have a shower every day before your kids get up. Before, you need to go, it's okay to get out of your pajama pants, and feel good about yourself. And gave her a challenge of just that self-worth and speaking life to her and helping her find some identity. And I think that's what our culture really lacks is identity and who
Yeah.
we are, whose we are, regardless of our sin. God loves us and made us, and we're not junk.
You bet.
And so that's kind of where we've been. So let me unpack some stuff.
Okay, let's go. I mean, we could go all over the place. I could talk to you for hours.
You have to commercial.
Yeah, let's do a commercial and let's come back and reset. But that's just my way of saying, hi, good morning. And, love this friend. And you need to be a part of what Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center does. When I go to Mexico, one of the first things, we go down there and we do mission work every year. And I go in there and I can remember years ago when we first started going thinking, I wish we could do this at home. Change the community from the inside out, because that's what we do. We go down there, changing the culture in the community from the inside out. And I thought, man, we need this at home. And then I come home, and it was probably that first year, and I really got to know what y'all were doing. I thought, they're doing it. And that's when I was like, I want to be a part of that. So if you want to change the culture from the inside out, here's real easy path. Just get involved with Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. And maybe all you can do is just help them financially, then do it. And you can give monthly, you can give a one-time gift, monthly donors. Come on, you can do it. Let that be your tithe. Come on. Anyway, I'm just saying. I digress. But let's go ahead and let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. We just
best
love
people
them.
in the whole world.
Oh, they've been, because you were talking about the videos.
I talked about my video. There's Barry.
And I just
amazing
love
realtors as well.
They're just amazing people. I love them so much, and they are just so good to us here at One Street Over. I can call Barry. I was talking yesterday. I had to go and visit another teacher in another county. It's part of the state thing where I have to, keep my license and all this kind of stuff. I have to see other people doing what they do. And we got to talking about this camera I had that's a European camera that we ended up with at the school accidentally, and nobody could figure out why it wasn't working with something else. And Barry's the one that figured it out. I had a guy that works.
He's a problem solver for sure.
Oh my gosh. I had a guy that actually works with the OVC that could, there's a thing, it's a switcher, it's a TriCaster, and we couldn't get it to work with this camera. We're like, what is going on? The OVC guy couldn't figure it out. Barry came in and he goes, this is a European camera. It works at a different frame rate. So they didn't interface. And
wow.
I'm like, oh. So he's pretty smart. But anyway, he's a good guy to work with. And so is Rebecca. She was a radiologist before she got into real estate.
Oh, my word.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, she's been at it a long time, though, but they're just awesome. They've changed the name of the company. They're still part of the Exit Tree, but they're a new branch of the Exit Tree. They've got Exit Prime Realty. He's got the brokerage office in the downtown square. She's got an agency office in White House. They combine those two for Exit Prime Realty. Same great company, just a new branch in the tree. You can call them at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and you can sit down across the table from them at Cross Plains, up in Cross Plains for the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. Great time. Cannot wait. 17th and 18th of May. They'll be there. I'll be there. It's going to be a good time, and we hope you'll be there too. But again, they're great community folks. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. They're from Kentucky, but they're Cross-Plainians, been there for like 30 years. Reach out to them today and thank them for sponsoring One Street Over and all the help they give to Open Door. And tell them that Shawn and LaVern sent you. And here we go. We're going to get back into the show. Where are we going to start, sis?
Well, let's unpack a couple things. So I was talking about the other day, I was talking to somebody about the beast of nonprofit management, and they said, where's your staff come from? And I laughed and said, well, it's tamed by faith in Jesus. And that is about the truth of it. So the beast of nonprofit management is tamed by the faith of Jesus. We're doing more. We're seeing more needs than we've ever seen before. Statistically, last year we had over 2,700 visits to our center. Wow. And that's in Springfield, Tennessee. That's including supervised visitation and things like that. But on paper, somebody says you saw 300 and so individual people, but then you have to realize it wasn't just that one mother. It was the children. It was a father that was in that situation. I mean, there were so many. So the diverseness of it expands. So. Yeah. We saw, hundreds of visits or thousands of visits, and my staff and I looked at each other at the end of the year and said we felt every one of them. We have, the emotional toll, the hardness of some, these are people making incredibly difficult decisions, and they're fighting for their lives.
And you said every one of them?
we felt every one of them.
You felt.
Yeah, we felt every one of them. We love these people. And, one of the things that Rachel, one of my staff members, and I were talking about yesterday is just the beautiful ministry of Open Door and the different, how it's just evolved. It's just evolved so rapidly. Since our new space in 2021, when we launched that and opened in 2021 at the South Main location, we are just it's unreal. It's been neat. But I wanted to unveil our mobile. I know at our March banquet we have a mobile unit that we have had in the works for quite a while, and it was there with our little trailer, and we're going to do a stuff the mobile unit and do some stuff in the community. Really, it's more of it's a great just community piece. We're going to be able to go to Friday night market, and we have got the baby changing station and the nursing station, and that will be there. My staff and I will be on a retreat this Friday night, but we have volunteers that are gonna be there for us. So we just want to use it in our community to bless others. I know my daughter and several that have babies just really struggled at Friday night market because there was nowhere to take their babies.
Yeah.
And, change a diaper, and I had nursing moms say, "Oh my gosh!" And so we were thinking last year we would try to put tents out, and that just didn't work. And so, I mean, who wants to sit in a tent in a hard chair? So we do. We've got that rolling out. You can't miss it. She's beautiful. I call her Big Mammy. She's just like a warm hug when you go in. She's very stately, but Dynamics Collision, Mr. Gary and Zach and the boys over there did an incredible job, and they took what was in here that I felt like God said, we're going to, redo this. It looked like a dungeon, and it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
People take things in your head
and could they did it better than I ever could imagine. They said, "Miss Shawn, we found this sink on sale. What do you think about this one?" I said, "We love it." So
that's wonderful.
We just wanted it inside to be warm, fun, and timeless. So eventually we'll have other projects in that, but we'll go to Cheatham County to their baby shower. We'll take it to our Robertson County baby shower. There'll be lots of little things that we'll do. So
I love it.
You'll see us around town. It sits at Dynamic, and we house it there. So
I gotta go check it out. I haven't seen it.
It is amazing.
It
is amazing. Yep. We got a new Big Red donation bin out back. One of my donors heard that we were struggling with people stealing and going through our donations, and we would
That's a constant problem in a nonprofit.
Yes.
At the Benevolent Center.
2-3 o'clock in the morning, we had our alarm, our ring cameras, and cameras would go off, and you've got people that are just rummaging, and
just leave it out on the ground.
Oh yeah.
We had in cold weather, very rarely would we go in and open up our bin at the Benevolent Center and not find a homeless person in there sleeping.
Snug as a bug.
Usually. Yeah. Like going to burn the place.
Gosh.
I mean, and God bless them. You want them to shelter, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we got a new Big Red bin around back, and so it's more secure. Big items like, car seats and things that fit in there, but the bags, the food items we've had in there. So we have people that drop off, and we just appreciate our community support so much.
Can you speak to what you want dropped off? Because you don't want, anytime we take donations up at the Benevolent Center, and one of the worst things you can do is bring us stuff that really needs to go in the garbage.
Yeah.
Because your people have to work through that, and if you put something in there that's not up to par, it can soil other things. You just got to be mindful of what you donate. So do you have some guidelines for donations?
Yes, one of the things that we say is we love tenderly used things. So some toys, obviously, we do clothing.
What are the size on the clothing?
Preemie to size 5T, but there are times like I'll have a call from a friend that says, "Hey, we have size 6 girl clothes." I'm like, "Yes, we need those," because we have a mom that has additional, but we just don't have anywhere to house those. We work with Family Resource Center and things like that, but that we do take food items sometimes, baby food, things like that. I try not to take a lot of food, but there are times that we have to have a food basket for a family. Sure. So we do have the clothing, the toys, the equipment. We have to be very careful on. So we're not supposed to take used car seats and things like that. Yeah. So we're very, all that's new now.
Yeah.
But diapers.
Yes.
We need to team up with about 10 churches or 10 businesses that we can say, okay, this month, we're going to have you launch diapers and wipes. Those are the two most incredible things that we need. We had no size 6 diapers. And Friday, a lady pulled up around back and said, I saw that you needed 3 and 6 diapers. And she had gone to Bargain Hunt in White House. And the back of her SUV was full.
Oh my gosh.
So and she said, how long will this last? And I said, about a week.
Yeah.
We go through a lot. So we have an Earn Will You Learn program. So these people are coming in and doing the education piece, and that's how they're getting some things because, the economy right now, I don't know if you've noticed, but your grocery bill and everything else, and people are struggling.
Yes.
We knew that this was coming, and but we're still, you can't prepare fully, but, we're behind, our goals and things like that financially this year as well. But I don't know of a nonprofit that's not. I've had multiple people call me and say, how can we, I have a meeting after I leave here, how can we, launch and help and get more funds? We are completely funded by donation. We don't take any federal funds at this point. They have, we've had to say, okay, I can't take this, so we have to be just very careful because we want to make sure that we can love people well and, all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure that's done.
And I got you off track, I know, but I just know the donations are very specific. Do you share when you need specific diapers? Do you share that on social media?
Yes, that's our main thing is to do social media. And I'll tell you, before it was a prayer chain and we would call churches, but now it's social media. So that's our main platform is Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm doing all the following and stuff. If you think to text me, say, hey, LaVern, we need this, I'll push it out too.
Okay.
And if you can remember to do that, I'll try to make yours one of the ones that I just go and look at.
Yeah. We are constantly, and we want to share the good news of what we're doing. We're trying to really balance our social media. Amy DeBerry at Molly B Creative and Terry are fantastic at helping us. And we've hired Amy Singleton. I was going to go through my staff, but we hired Amy Singleton. She's phenomenal. She's been a stay-at-home mom and come back into the workforce, and she's killing it. So she's been great. We hired her, I think, in January. Well, maybe it's February. So she's working, part-time, I think 10, maybe 12 hours a week. So that way she can help us gather the information and get it out there. So we'll be putting out a newsletter this month. It should go out. It's going to print this morning. The red bin is our donation bin, baby formula, short dated things. We share anything we share with the community. We want to make sure that we are not wasteful in any way. We're very resourceful and we're good stewards of the donations that come in for sure.
Very good.
But if you wouldn't give it to, your daughter or your cousin, then a lot of times, and you're right, we've gotten bags of trash. Kelly literally opened the bin and there was bags of trash in there.
It's like, stop it, y'all.
Yeah. And so we think maybe somebody did that on accident, but then again, you never know. So
yeah, that's just it. Just it. Somebody that just didn't understand what it was. We do have some newcomers in the community that they just language issues, and they're just like, oh, looks like a and they could have mistakenly done it. Absolutely.
So we have a red bin out the back door, and then we have a dumpster. So yeah, and then we have a little box that we have giveaways in and things like that, which is going to be moved because people said, well, I looked in the red bin. I said, oh no, that's the red box out back. So we try to make them a little, we're going to color code some stuff, but anyway, our services, we want to do the insulated wraparound services. We have found that we're doing things that no one else in the community does, and we want to do that with love and respect to that person, to love them well. I always say we're a John 10:10 ministry, and so we want to help folks find abundant life and not just survive but thrive.
Amen.
And so we still have all of our pregnancy services. We have Miss Jana that works a few hours a week that is our educator, and she's phenomenal. She gets in there and loves people so good, and so she's taking care of those clients. We have our material assistance, which is the donations that come in, diapers, wipes, baby formula, lotions, clothing, anything that a baby would need, we typically try to have. And so she, Miss Kelly has come on board. She was a volunteer, so So she works about 10 hours a week and helps us with that, because I personally couldn't keep up with the donations, and neither could my staff. We were just so busy doing the actual work of getting in those rooms with those clients. We needed somebody. And so we were able to bring her on, and she's been a great asset. So we have a volunteer staff that continues to do that. But, volunteers are volunteers. And so it was, hey, we need you to navigate this boutique manager or coordinator position. And she rocks it. So she's there about 3 days a week, a couple hours a day. And it's very flexible for her. It's awesome. So Miss Kelly's organization skills are amazing. And I walk in and it's like a breath of fresh air. I don't walk in with anxiety. And so that's a big thing for me. I don't walk into a back door or that bin overflowing. It's amazing. She checks it 2 or 3 times a day. She takes donations from people. So if it's during office hours, she takes the donations at the back door. So it's been an awesome.
I'd like to coordinate with her, because I've got several things that I need to. I would, rather than leave them, I'd rather say, "Can you use these?" If she can't, then take them away.
Yeah. So
I would rather not leave them unless I know you can use them.
And things like that, like we share things, like people say, do you need this? And I said, well, if we don't, we share that with like the Family Resource Center, or there may be a ministry in a church that will say, hey, we have this, do you want it for your clothes closet or whatever? And so I've done that a lot. We had some men's clothing that I gave away to another church because they needed it. So, and then the Hope Center. Oh yeah. So I'm always saying, hey, you boys, we love the Hope Center. Yeah. They help us, we help them. So it's awesome.
Continue on. Just keep going.
The education that we're doing is crazy. It's a lot of one-on-one and small group classes, but we're seeing the dynamics of the family get in, just almost like an injection of faith and love and support, so then they can be a better mom. That's one of the things that one of my girls said is, Miss Shawn, I said, hey, we're going to go to every 2 weeks and we'll phase you out. You're going to graduate. And she literally said, please don't graduate me. And so we did graduate her, or we will in 2 weeks, but she has an open, case. And so we were really trying to be more proactive with her, and we should have graduated her probably about 3 or 4, weeks ago, even, 2 months ago, and she asked not to be. She said, I want to stay. And so we will graduate her, but she'll stay on as support. So I love it. I love when these kiddos go home and then mom's still working with us in the program, because we're her support system. But, she comes in and she said, that we were the only ones that advocated, but we spend the most time with her. We can see that, she's not using, we can see that, or the opposite, really, there's so many things, but we spend the most time with some of these parents, male, female, moms or dads, but we can see that. So our education program has changed the way that she disciplines, changed the way that she sees herself as a parent, learns, she said she's learned how to talk to her kids and how to connect with them, which is incredible. So we enjoy that. We have supervised visitation at the little house on Meadowbrook.
What did you call it again?
Connecting Company.
I love that.
Connecting families. We are seeing those hours and those numbers soar. There are times that it's like herding cats to get those people on the schedule, because there's a visiting parent, there's a parent or grandparent that has the child, and then there's some kind of coordinator somewhere along the line. But Brooklyn First Lewis has done a great job with that. She came on with us. She's been with us about 6 months. She's a social worker. We are so thrilled to have such an incredible staff. She needed flexibility in her schedule, and I said, well, good, because we need to be flexible. She does visits on the weekends at night, and we always have a team to do those things. So it's neat. We're part of a cooperation and a network that we don't advertise our services for that. They're basically in-house services and for community, but we're getting referrals from Montgomery County, Davidson County, Sumner County. I'm actually working with another agency to help them and partner with them to get them up and running as a visitation center, because there's enough to go around. There's so many families that need those services. So I met with them a couple weeks ago, and so that's our goal, is to fleece out what we have. And I always say what God's given open door in me is not proprietary, and I'll share whatever God wants me to share with somebody to help make their community better. So
I love it. Changing it from the inside out, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Keep going.
So we do a whole lot of co-parenting. We decided to, we were asked by some attorneys and a couple of judges, hey, what can we do with this? I mean, sometimes, there's a 4-hour course online, but that's not what those families need more. And so we're doing co-parenting. That is not a free service. They do have some skin in the game there, but that is not a free service, and neither is a supervised visit. So everything else is, but all of those costs is just to cover the cost of materials and the people that are teaching it. We have a lot of third party, which I'll get into in a minute, which is kind of a neat thing.
What is co-parenting? Can you explain that? Because when you say that, I'm kind of going, I don't know if I even understand.
So it's educational material. There is a lot of divorce care. We kind of call it divorce care because there's really, what else do you call this? But there's a lot of families that are in, part of separation or divorce that really are having a hard time to co-parent. So can't get along, things like that. And so there are skills involved in that. I have one lady that can quote me what she learned, and it cracks me up because she said, I'm doing this, but what I can only, and it gives her great boundaries. And she said, Shawn, that was the most impactful thing. And it's she's a high level professional. We work with all kinds. And she said, I was in a very toxic environment. And so it was beautiful that she was able to get this material and put it into practice. Now, she's not responsible for the other party, and she gets that, but she's also saying my kids have to come first. We talk about the children, because who's most affected in a divorce?
Oh, the kids.
The kids.
Yeah.
And so, that's one of the things that we're seeing a whole lot of is going through that. It depends on what is the need for that specific family, but that course can be anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. And a lot of times we're seeing those folks go, hey, I want to go ahead and do those 2 extra weeks. I had this big burly guy, I won't call his name, but he came in. The first time he called me, he cussed my staff out and cussed me out. And I very quickly...
Don't do that.
Yeah. I very quickly said, excuse me. And so he came in, I think he thought he's coming in like a roaring lion. He came in like a kitten, and he was very apologetic. And he said, I'm just frustrated. And I said, I get your frustration, but that's not, this is my boundary. You don't cross this, you don't cross the line. But he is one of my favorite little guys. He cracks me up. He would come in and he would learn. He'd go, now what do I do in this situation? And he was just so plain spoken to myself and my staff. But he went through I think he probably went through 10 or 12 weeks himself. And the biggest thing that and when I took my picture with him, and he graduated with his certificate and his balloons, and we do a big thing when you graduate with Open Door, because sometimes people don't graduate from high school, but they graduate from our program, and it's important.
You bet it is.
But this guy said to me, he said, he just told me, he said, I was PO'd about having to come here, blah, blah, blah. He gave me this, big story, and he said, but when I met you guys and realized that you were in here to help my kids, and he said, my girls are the most important thing to me. He said, I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to, so I said, well, what was the biggest thing you learned? He said that I don't have to respond, and I can have boundaries. Yeah. And that's what we lack. I mean, the Word of God talks about boundary lines have fallen for us in pleasant places. The insanity that people don't realize that you have to have good boundaries. I mean, if you think about, some of these scriptures about boundaries, God and Jesus had boundaries when he walked on earth. Mm-hmm. And so his thing was, I don't have to respond, and you're teaching. We got to teach this 40-something-year-old man boundaries that he has never experienced. And so when that was part of, and I have his quotes, and it's hilarious to see. And another dad that went through the program, we did some co-parenting with him and parenting as well with his little girl. And he said when he engaged with his ex-wife, he said, I learned this, this, and this. I offered her the classes as well, but she did not take me up on it. But because of his action and the way that he turned around, she was confident in allowing him some more time with his child. There was so much, and it was great how they could work some things out together. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing the effects of, good co-parenting, good communication. We recommend different apps. One of the things is, hey, don't get yourself in a bad position. Use an app. If you wouldn't say it to your mom, don't say it to this person. I have folks that have cussed each other and things in front of their children. So the toxic environment, you kind of pull away from that and teach people boundaries not to have, such toxicity. Mm-hmm. So it's really kind of cool. The girls do a great job with it. Kinsey really works with our co-parenting, and so shout out to her. She's great.
A couple of things you said. Number one, I'm like, what kind of apps do you refer them to?
Yeah, there's apps for communication for parents.
Really?
App Close is awesome. I'm on it with a couple.
What's it called?
It's called App Close, CLOSE, and it has It has a calendar for you to put, calendars. So it basically helps to communicate with your partner or ex-partner or,
just so you are on the same page.
Same page with your kids, because communication's key. And, sometimes, it's toxic. It's such a toxic environment post-divorce. I mean, we have what we call high conflict divorces. And so, in order for them to feel safe and things like that, that was one of the things. So I've talked to several attorneys and things, and that's probably one of everybody's favorites. And so I'm on there as a monitor with somebody that has an order of protection, and, it's very safe. So, people can say what they're going to, but at the same time, you don't have to respond. But it's, you can send pictures. You can put calendars up. You can, I know there's a way to exchange funds. I don't know if it's through that app, but they were talking about that in this one text that I was looking at yesterday. So
that is cool, because there's an app for everything.
There's an app for everything.
And we keep hearing that. And two, and I just love what you said about you don't have to respond. I had that conversation with some of my kiddos in high school. One of them had gotten called out of class for something, and they were responding to something. And I said, you can just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, you don't have to respond.
People have never been told, you do not have to respond. Silence is okay. Walking away is the best choice.
Yeah.
And let me do a break here. Talking with Shawn Elmore about all the things related to Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. We just love you. Love you, sister. You're such an inspiration. I just love you so much.
This is a village. I just get to be the face some days like today, because I can't bring the 25 people in here that work with us every day and are sweet, sweet volunteers. So, this is a village.
I know it is.
Board members. Yeah.
So thankful but again, we could thankful for all of you guys that are involved in this. It's amazing. And I'm thankful for our sponsors here at One Street Over that make this show possible and let me keep doing radio. I'm just so thankful that I get to keep my toe in the door because it's part of me. And so thank you, Mr. Perry's Music, for being one of our sponsors.
Mr. Perry too.
Love the Myers. Oh my gosh. Perry and Katie, I've messaged her yesterday. I'm trying to get them in here and they're so busy. It's just hard to get them in on the show.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to find something. So they're coming in at 7:30 to 7 next Tuesday, and she goes, we'll just talk about the music and all that kind of stuff. We got to mention Katie. We got to get Katie did it. If you haven't seen Katie did it. It's awesome.
Mr. Perry and Miss Katie hung some wallpaper in one of our rooms, so he was awesome. Let me tell you, she told him how to do it, and he did it. It was working together. Those
They're
two,
adorable.
They're a hoot.
And he does help her a lot. That's if you go by the store for music and stuff, and he's not there, he's probably out doing something for Katie.
Yeah,
that's Katie with a Y, Did It Designs with an S. Find her. But we are here to talk about Mr. Perry's Music. You got to get in touch with him if you want your kids involved in any of the camps. He's got a beginner's camp. He's got an advanced camp. He's got a sound camp. He's got a songwriter's camp. If you want to get involved in any of these camps for your kiddos, please reach out to him. He is just amazing. He's my music teacher. Love him to pieces. He can play anything, literally. I can go, can you help me with? Yeah, sure, no problem. He can play it. It's amazing. And just love him, love Katie. And Mr. Perry's Music's where you're going to find him. Mr. Perry's Music. You can go and sign up for all the rock camps. They work on a semester with the things he does right there at the house because and so we're coming up on the end of the semester. They'll do the rock camps through the summer. Then in the fall, they'll start up a new semester and you can get your kids involved in rock band classes. It's just awesome. He does homeschool classes, all kinds of things, independent classes like he does with me, but he can play anything. I'm gonna book some time with him to bring my grandson. I can't get him here for the camps, but because I've got other things going already. But I'm gonna bring him in and book some time and just let my grandson touch and just see what he might be drawn to. Is he a drummer? Does he like keyboards, guitar? Does he not want anything to do with it? But just kind of test the waters a little bit. He'll work with you. Same thing with Katie. Whatever you need, talk to them, and they'll fix something for your need and your budget. Oh, and he's got instruments now too. All kinds of gear. Oh, good looking stuff. Mr. Perry's Music. Reach out to him today, Mr. Perry's Music, and be sure and let him know that U-Turn and Shawn sent you. And next Tuesday we'll have him in studio. So stay tuned and stick around because we got so much more to go. What's next, Miss Shawn?
Well, let's see. We are certified with fetal and infant loss, so we can, help go through miscarriages and post-abortion and things like that. So you'll see more about that. We also are working with Robertson County Recovery Court. We love the Recovery Court people. You know, we went to graduation, obviously, the other day, but love them. We work with some of their clients, and it's beautiful to just watch those folks bloom. There's going to be one that graduates in October. And 3 graduated, I think it was 3 of them. We had 9 total. Yeah, and then three of ours were in there, but I was laughing about this one guy. I said, dude, when are you graduating? He said, next time. I was like, all right. But this guy, you just watch him change, and we said we would stay with him through trial home visit and all, and I'm loving just seeing him he blossomed, as a dad. So love that. Love working with them. Obviously we're with the court system. We work with DCS. We have lots of cases. I was going to tell you about our ecosystem. We talk about that as our staff. So we have people that we're always in that moving parts. We've got Yenny and Erica, which do our Spanish outreach and education. I told you about Miss Tammy is she works Tuesdays, change your hours, Tuesdays and Fridays to help Rachel and Kinsey and that group just to get paperwork done, because we are just we're heavy laden with paperwork. So we have somebody that works, just a few hours a week. She was a volunteer, and I think she works 10 hours a week, something like that. So little snippets of people that are doing so many great things with their skill set and their the beauty of what the Lord's given them as their gifts and talents coming together as the body to be able to do what we need to do at Open Doors. So Miss Jenna is, like I said, our nurse educator. Brooklyn is our social worker. Miss Penny she's a community coordinator, so she'll be helping with the bus a lot, and there'll be some evolution there. Caitlin and Amy came on to be with us this year. Amy, like I said, will be helping with the marketing just part-time. And then Caitlin I laughed and said Penny's been my right brain for quite a while, but I think she's going to have to be my left. But she's I gave her the keys to my schedule and my calendar. So she just looked at me. That's a big job. It's a big job to fill, because she doesn't know I'm here this morning.
She's like, that's not on your calendar, Miss Shawn.
Yeah. So anyway, but I want to just say, I want to shout out to our therapists. We have 2 therapists. They're third party services, so they're not employed by Open Door, but they do therapeutic services, and they're a lot of times are paid directly or paid. We have a donor that gave us some funds for mental health.
Oh wow!
And for family therapy, and so. Funds run out very fast, but this was something that we saw the need. The court, we had attorneys. We're like, man, we just don't have this need, and we could find this. And so one of our volunteers from way back in our infancy went back to school. And one went as to be a social worker, and she's an LCSW, and then one went to be a licensed counselor. And both of them were shaped at Open Door and loving, and they're giving back now. It's amazing. One was our little secretary, part-time through college, and then one was a lady that, and her story was on, it's amazing how the Lord brought her to us through the death of her son. And we were the people that just loved her and supported her and ministered to that need. And she saw such a need. She said, I've got to give back. I've got to do this. So she put herself through school. Her husband's very involved. It's amazing to see our counseling services. So we have them. They are they do individual counseling. So even private counseling. I have some that sometimes they'll do at one place. We have lots of wraparound services, once again, because a lot of times you get in, you say, hey, this is a mental health issue. Addiction is a mental health issue a lot of times. So we see a lot of times that we want to get that in we just want to pull them around and do wraparound services. We see a lot that need family therapy and reintegration services. And so those 2 ladies are our girls. So Laura and Kristen are third party counselors, and they're rocking and rolling. We have a sibling group right now that no one can pay for therapy. And I had a donor say, I'll pay for their therapy. And so it's just amazing. We had a baby that passed away this year, a mom that lost a child. And so she's seeing Miss Laura, and they have the same story. It's beautiful to see her giving back and pouring in and watching this young woman come out of this grief state that she's been in. It's amazing. I'm an advocate for therapy, obviously.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my gosh, come on. And they're my therapists. I call them both and say, okay, I'm dealing with this. So yeah, I mean, it's just amazing at the work that they're doing. And, we had a single mom that I just looked at her and I said, hey, we have a counselor. I'll split it with you because I can't afford to pay for hers. And she was working, and she said, Miss Shawn, I would be paying more. So she started paying, her insurance started paying. It's amazing. Like, to watch this little girl just blossom as a mama, and she said and she also had lost her mother young and was abandoned, things like that. So to see that and to understand that trauma, because everything we do is trauma informed and evidence based. So we always want to make sure that we keep those things in our focus.
And if you've never experienced counseling, I never really did. I have a son who is gifted as a counselor. He's out in Jackson.
Oh my gosh.
And since, he's doing kingdom work because he works
100%.
with troubled kids and families. And I talk to him, maybe I'll have an issue and I'll talk to him. He's my I can call him. And it's
they just bring a different wisdom.
It's different.
Yeah.
And I never really knew what was I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And for it to be my son, it's just extra special. But the difference it makes, and I hope he hears this because I am so proud of him.
Yeah.
Just amazing. You
well,
talk about kingdom work.
These
Man,
women that are helping us, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm their friend and their sister in Christ, but to watch them blossom and sow back, like out of their own, it's just amazing. Like to say, hey, Kristen said, Miss Shawn, what the work you're doing is very important and I want to be a part of it. And so she's coming out. She'll be working a whole lot more hours with us. She's going out on her own.
It's essential. If you think there might be something, man, seek it. And seek it. And help her pay for all the things that these people need because they need it. They need it so desperately.
One of the things that I was going to say is with counseling is identifying and helping with your past. Well, we also have a life coach, which is Tyra Woodall, and we love it because I've gone through life coaching. My staff that's kind of a requirement because we want to make sure we can do this. I sat there and she said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to organize my time for my family, my work and balance, that." And then I said, "My desk." Now I'm still working on myself, but she walks in my office. I'm like, look, my desk isn't as bad as it used to be. So the life coach part is dealing with your future and how you get there and figuring out how you can marry the two. So I have a young lady I've referred to this, and she said, Miss Shawn, I don't. She kind of didn't want to go, and I said, well, sweetheart, I'm giving you 4 visits, and it's a requirement as part of what we're doing. And she's like, okay, she dressed. She said, can I stay on? I have another little girl that her mental health is in the toilet. Yeah. Her kids, have been removed at this, but I gave her 4 counseling sessions. And I said, listen, I want you to just embrace what I'm giving you as a gift. And Miss Shawn just thinks you need this. And she was like, okay, Yeah. And I'll tell you her story in just one second because I want to end with the hope of what's going on with her. Okay. But basically, she got through the 4th session, and Miss Laura asked her, what would you like to do? Would you like to continue, or would you like to just stop? Because, Miss Shawn said you had 4 sessions, and she said, well, I would really like to continue. I hugged her, and I was so proud of her that she took the initiative to own the things that she needed to and to walk forward. For her, that was a huge step. Yeah. Having and your mental health affects your calendar, your scheduling, your kids, how you can love people well. And so watching her blossom. And so this lady I'm going to tell you about real fast, and I can end with this. I want to make sure I'm timely, but this little young lady several months ago was court ordered to our services, and she was like a rattlesnake. She's a little viper, and I'm not kidding. When I walked in the room, she would arch her back and strike. It was insane. And I was like, well, it's just my presence. I mean, I just have that effect on some. But she knew the love and the accountability that she would have. And she had said some things. And one of the things I said, well, we don't just come in and check boxes at Open Door. So I want you to understand the concept of our parenting education. And we will challenge you at times. And it's okay if you don't like me. And she basically said, well, I hate you. And, she told me all that. She cussed me out. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm big enough to take it. And God didn't give me these broad shoulders for nothing type deal, Yeah. And so she kind of left like a wet hen, and she said, I'm going to just check the boxes. And she just was, and she left. And I told her, I said, well, you go home and think about it. But I said, you're going to have a long road if that's your attitude. And so, a couple of months went by and she still hated me and she still hated me and she still hated me. But I would just consistently love her well and say, hey, how are you today? Because that's who I am. I'm going to love you no matter how much you hate me, I guess. And so she literally has had a complete turnaround.
Oh my gosh. All of a sudden it just keep going.
So she literally has had a turnaround. I text her. She sent me something over the weekend. She has my personal number and I don't give that to everyone. That's how special this kid is to me. I knew her family. And anyway, long story short, she texted me. I said, sweetheart, I am so proud of you. She's had the mental health statue of so many people, like your house, you can't clean a house. And so we started with clean your bathroom, clean this. And so I'm like, I need pictures. And I'm pushing her caseworker said something to me and I'm like, oh, she's going to deal with that. It was so beautiful. I got these pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh. So watching her have breakthrough keeps us going.
Yeah.
We're sitting back going, man, she's struggling today, but look who she is. And so it's, she may take a step forward and a step back. I said, okay, I don't ever give gift cards, but I couldn't take this kid to go get her a calendar. I didn't have one because I always keep little calendars for families. And I said, here's a $10 gift card. You go buy you a calendar at Walmart. I want to see it. This is your personal calendar for your kids. We taught her how to put things in her phone for alarms. This has made the difference, but the mental health part is the counseling, the love, and the support. Mm-hmm. The first thing I do now is I hug her. And, I went into a therapy session. I said, when you're done, I need both of you, because I was going to tell you, I was going to tell her we'll go ahead and pay for, I had a donor that said he would pay for 2 more or 4 more sessions. And so needless to say, I got to hug her and tell her how proud I am of her. And is she there? No, she's not arrived, but we're on the journey and on the adventure of becoming who she really is and who her identity is. And some things happen, and I said, I don't want you to say a word. Miss Shawn has this, and I said, I told everyone. I said, I'm so proud that she did not go wacko crazy and start using foul language, because that's who she was 6 months ago.
Right.
But she had the boundaries. She kept accountable. She said, I knew, and her comment to me was, I knew I could trust you to take care of that situation and be my voice. And that to me that just blessed my soul.
Yeah.
Because I was able to articulate something for her that she couldn't articulate for herself. And she's getting to see that and not have to act a certain way to get what she needs. And I said, well, we don't behave that way and you don't get your way. And she said, well, that was apparent with the way I behaved. And so she and I have had long conversations about, but I love watching her just blossom and evolve and just on the journey. So I'm bringing you this. I want you to take one and give one to somebody else. But these are just our sweet little fun, we call them our swag.
These are kind of new.
We're giving them out. They're new. And I'll get you a t-shirt, but just think of us, pass that along. I have a guy said, I don't think you'll wear this, but pass it to your wife. He goes, oh no, I'll wear it. Give me 2. And he goes, I'm man enough. So I have men that are wearing them.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get one on my hubby, but
just that's our prayer, kind of our prayer reminder. I always ask people to pray for us, to pray for our clients, because they are having life-changing moments.
You bet.
And it's a journey. It's nothing, we don't fast forward this. We don't fast track.
Guys. And this is, I've still got to do one ad, but, and I know we're a little over, but just hang with us. Again, I cannot say enough about the work we do down in Mexico in El Rosario began because of the City of Children in Ensenada. The people who were running that going, you know what, we can take care of the kids, but what can we do to where people don't feel like they have to, because people would drop their kids off because they couldn't take care of them. Not because they didn't love them, because they did not have the means to feed them.
That was the only thing that they could do.
Only choice.
Yeah, only choice.
What can we do to change these communities from the inside out? And so they started going in and planting churches, and in those churches, they are the community. We do medical clinics. We put glasses on. I get to put glasses on people. It's the coolest thing ever.
And get to see.
And we just love these folks. And I'm telling you, it changes us from the inside out. And from the very first moment I went, I was like, oh, we need to do this here. And then I met you guys. And I'm like, they're doing it. So if you really, everybody's like, what can we do? The society is blah, 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 blah. What can we do? Right here. How can they get in touch with you and be a part of what you're doing? Become a monthly donor. Mm-hmm. You tithe to all these things that are, I'm sorry, I know we've got to tithe to our churches. Mm-hmm. Tithe to this. This is Jesus right here.
Amen. Thank you so much. But, they can call us at 384-HOPE, 615-384-HOPE. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, absolutely. Just go knock on the door, find out how you can, make this part.
Come take a tour,
Come on,
come really see our innards.
And I know people are calling you if you need to. Let me do my ad right now. They're trying to get a hold of her. We got to talk about Veterans Motorplex, somebody else who just pours into the community. I love Jerry so much. He is such a good guy. And everybody's going, when we racing? When we racing? They didn't get to race this past weekend. And he said it just, they've been improving the track. They're supposed to start racing in March, but they wanted to make some improvements. The weather wasn't working. They were planning on having the first race this past weekend. It did not happen. He goes, we're racing Saturday. So come on out, get to Veterans Motorplex. This is the old Highland Rim Speedway. That $40 ticket will get up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for one price. There's no alcohol out there. That's an unusual thing, Sky, for a racetrack. No alcohol. You don't have to worry about that. It's got a great concession stand. A lot of my kiddos, I've had a bunch of kids that have had their first job out at Veterans Motorplex. It is a great place, and it's in Greenbrier, and we want you to be a part of it. 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Come out to the races this weekend. It is a fun, fast, quarter-mile, high-banked asphalt bull ring, fun for the whole family. They're racing this weekend. Come on out on Saturday, and when you get by there, please let them know. U-Turn sent you, and thanks, Jerry, for sponsoring what we do here at One Street Over. Parting words, my sister.
God bless our community for their love and support, and just, wow. Just, so we live in such a beautiful community. We can connect and help others. We work with CASA and LaVern and, there's so many other agencies and
all intertwined.
And we intertwine and we work together. And so what a beautiful community Robertson County is, and the support system that it is to, so many in desperate need. And unfortunately, we're falling on hard times. It's coming. It's here, but some people just haven't seen the depths of it yet. But, we're having people that don't have formula, diapers. I mean, it's just amazing. Constant. So thank you to Robertson County.
Give your number again 2 times. So if people want to be a part of this and contribute and do what you do, they can get in touch with you.
615-384-4673 is 615-384-HOPE.
There you go. I love it. Love you. And thank you guys for joining us for, again, One Street Over. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.